Hi everybody and welcome to Learn Live Streaming Live. My name's John Lacey. Today on the show, and I'm just checking that I do indeed have audio, that's always a good start. Today on the show we're going to be talking about the DJI Osmo Pocket 3 and some of the accessories that I've purchased for this thing in recent weeks. So we are going out live to all the various places, so if you are watching live, say hello in the chat. It'd be great to have your company today. Hello, Ender Trading. Great to see you. And Livestream Consultant says good afternoon. I must admit, it's not afternoon here. It's actually Saturday morning. It's like 9 a.m. Saturday morning, and it's already incredibly hot here in Australia. So I'm going to probably keep this one a fairly short one, but I did want to talk to you about all the toys. And I guess, first of all, a couple of things to say. This isn't really an ad for anything. You don't necessarily need to run out and buy a DJI Osmo Pocket 3 unless you particularly wanted to. You certainly don't need to run out and buy any of the gadgets that I'm going to show you today. I'm just putting it out there in cases of interest. If you don't have that particular camera, I think it's also a good opportunity to take a step back and think about some of the other things that you might like to explore and how they could relate to whatever it is that you're creating and making. So, first of all, and I cannot overstate how many random things are sitting on my desk right now. It's going to be very, very interesting. So Ender is saying that it's 5 a.m. From central Vietnam, but flying to Vietnam this morning. Okay, cool. Very early in the morning. I'd be really curious, and I don't travel anywhere. I barely leave my house. I'd be really curious to know how you deal with the jet lag at all, because I know you're always on the move. And Live Stream Consultant says 3 p.m. here in so New Mexico. All right, awesome. So what I'm going to do, I've got the DJI Osmo Pocket 3. This is the combo creator. It comes with its own little accessories, and we'll have a look at some of these and talk about them first up. First of all, and this really cute little bag that everything sort of fits into is really, really awesome. But first of all, if I pull this out, again, I'm going to be struggling for room all day, I suggest, for this one, but we've got this little cover. The camera itself sort of slides out of here, and if you haven't seen this camera, it's got the camera on the top. It's got a little screen here which you can sort of make horizontal or vertical, and you've got sort of a button and a bit of a joystick down here. It's really cool. It does have some mics built into it, but you can also do external mics. So that's really nifty in and of itself. The other thing too, before I forget, is that this case actually has, and I'm not really sure how obvious this will be, but at the top here, that's actually a little lens that you can put onto the DJI Osmo Pocket to make it more wide-angled. And there is also a spot for a black Pro Mist filter a little bit further down. That's something that DJI sells separately. I don't know that I've got one of those, but we'll get to that in a second. All right, the other thing about this, and it's actually really, really cool, is sort of the modularity of this, because it's very, very small in and of itself. There is a USB connection, a USB-C at the bottom, so you can plug this in, and it does work as a webcam if you want to do that as well. And the great thing about that is if you're giving a lecture at the front of the class and you're moving around, you can actually set this thing up to follow you around the room, which is awesome. But if you want to extend this, we have a couple of options. And again, we have this little one, which is just an extension. It does actually move the USB connection to the back, which can be quite useful. And it also has a 1/4-inch thread at the bottom, so you can put that on a tripod or on a selfie stick or whatever. The other option we have too is this slightly longer one. And again, very similar idea, but this one actually includes a backup battery power source. So you can film a little bit longer, and again, you have that 1/4-inch thread in the bottom. It does come with this little tiny sort of desk tripod stand, which I must admit I don't really use, but it is what it is, and it might be useful in certain circumstances. Again, the DJI combo creator combo comes with the DJI Mic 2. At least this is how it comes as default in Australia, in Australian stores. But you can actually order stuff from DJI directly and choose a different mic if you want to do that as well. And the thing about this is it comes with a windshield. There's a little hole in the top of this that we can plug this into. And you can clip that to your shirt. And there is also a magnet if you prefer to work that way. The other great thing about this, and we'll talk about this a little bit more later on, is this little thread at the top here lets you put in a lav mic. So I'll talk about a few lav options that I've been playing with lately. So that's really cool too. The other thing that's really nice about the DJI Mic 2 is that this has its own memory, and this can do a backup recording. So if you get too far away from your camera, if there's some sort of interference between you and your camera and the mic, you do have that backup as well. I think that's pretty much what we get in terms of the combo kit. I'm just going to check in with the chat because there's a lot happening. Enzo writes, only get jet lag from the long flights from Europe to Asia, etc. I only do that like twice a year. Okay, not recommended. Once flew from New York to Perth, worst ever. Yes, that's like 22 hours, I want to say, which is crazy. Ender writes, I got the OBSBot Meet 3 camera. It's pretty good for me. Awesome. Yeah, nice. Love to hear more about those. And Livestream Consultants writes, for the mini mics, they should call those dead kittens instead of dead cats. And dead dingbats. I should say too, I'm going to mention Rode later on, but because they're an Australian company, one of their boom mic covers they actually call a dead wombat, which some animal lovers might have some feelings about, but it is what it is. And as far as I know, this is all synthetic material anyway. No animals were harmed in the creation of these things, so just keep that in mind. All right, so the great thing about the DJI, well, I don't know if it's great. The thing about DJI is there are so many accessories out in the wild. I want to talk to you about some of them today. And I just really need to own up to the fact that, and I'll tell you the brand names of these things if I know them, but I should say too, a lot of this stuff is very generic. And I have purchased it on sites like AliExpress and Amazon Haul, which is Amazon's version of AliExpress, if you like, and it's only available in certain parts of the world at the moment. It is in beta in Australia. So, you know, there are no affiliate links. You'll have to seek these things out for yourself, but I'm sure you can search. The first thing I want to talk to you about, though, is it's so basic, but it's so incredibly useful. And I've got a few of these. This one is BRDRC. And I have another one, which I think is a different brand. But essentially, all it is a little silicone base for this unit. And I know that doesn't sound terribly exciting, but I think it's really, really useful. And the thing to note, too, is that I'm not sure how obvious that'll be over here. But there is actually a hole in the back. So if you have got one of these units, one of these extensions, I can plug this in. It is actually in all the way. And then because that puts the USB-C connection on the back, I can sort of put this in. And this is really great because I have a power brick actually on my desk, and I can just put this on there. I can use this as a second webcam, and that's really cool. And again, dirt cheap. Maybe $3 Australian, I think, from memory. So those things are really, really useful. They are available in an assortment of different colors too. So that in itself is really cool. One thing I will note is you do need to be a little bit careful about how we actually insert this and make sure that the sides are actually clipped in properly, especially if you're going to do something wild with like a selfie stick and throw this up in the air. So make sure that that is connected properly. I have so much stuff here. A lot of this stuff I haven't opened or played with yet, so we're going to just do that in real time. Again, this is from Sunny Life, and this is a portable handband for the Osmo Pocket 3. I haven't opened this one yet, so let's check it out now. I don't do unboxing videos. Maybe I should. Maybe that's what I missed in life, but there we go. All right, so we have this thing here, and it comes with this little strap to make life a little bit easier. I think what we need to do, and the trick with a lot of this stuff is just finding out where the holes are to line up with the holes on here. And then I have a little plastic connection on the back. All right, so that's secure, and now I can hold that with this. And it does look like I can make this a little bit longer or shorter if I need to. It's got some Velcro. The joy of trying to do stuff live, though, is I've never taken this out of the box before, so it looks like it's possible to actually change that up. And again, we could if we wanted to, but I think that's fine. And again, this mechanism is something that Sunny Life have used a few times. I'll show you another one in a second, actually, of slight variation on this theme. But I guess the other thing to note too is this actually has sort of a cold shoe connection here. So I don't think I've actually got anything handy on my desk that I could insert into there, but theoretically, if you did, you could. And that's a great place if you've got like a boom mic, got the Rode Video NTG somewhere that I could potentially put in here, or then just connect it up. There is actually a space for the memory card too, and again, it's probably really hard to see on here. And there are some cutouts for the I think that's a microphone actually on the unit itself, but there we go. So that's one example. And again, I should say, like, much of the reason I bought a lot of this stuff is just because I'm trying to have fun making videos, and I work and I don't always love my job, and I need to treat myself occasionally. So, I mean, the great thing about all of this is it's incredibly cheap, so... But that said, I realize it is that time of year where a lot of people will be purchasing stuff, so don't get too carried away. Ender writes, the DJI Osmo Pocket 3 is pretty cool. See a lot of vloggers using it. Yeah, and I must admit, there's a lot of discussion online about whether this is a cinematic camera or not. I'm very much in that sort of vlogging area, so I don't really care too much if it isn't a cinematic camera. I mean, there's all kinds of cool stuff you can do with this, and I just, especially as we come to the end of the year, I will be having some time off from work, and hopefully I'll have a bit more time to play with my camera. All right. So, I'm going to show you something now. I kind of need to acknowledge the fact that there are two different things happening here, and I might just twist that a little bit. So, first of all, up the top here, we have this thing, and it's got a... this is also Sunny Life, actually, it turns out. So the idea with this one is that I can sort of screw this into position. And again, if you are doing anything like this, just make sure it really is securely in place. And then I have a phone holder on the top of this, so on the other side. So I can actually bring this up. I can put my phone in here and my DJI Pocket 3. And I guess the way that and sometimes this is referred to as like a teleprompter, and I guess you could potentially have a script on your phone that you're reading. I don't know how well that would work. I suspect you'd be looking a little bit too far away from the lens. But the other great thing about this comes with... there's an app on the DJI, have their own app. I think it's called Mimo from memory. Let me just look at that really quickly. Where is it on my phone? The Mimo, DJI Mimo app. So yeah, you can actually have it sort of sharing this in real time. And the software gives you a few extra options, so you can like lock exposure and stuff like that. So your phone could essentially become just a much larger viewing angle for your camera. So that in itself is really cool. I guess the thing I didn't finish saying was that this kind of ends, this particular unit ends about here, and then we have a Ulanzi vlogging tripod, which is just a tiny little, mostly metal tripod, but a bit of plastic there as well. But again, I don't know if this is going to be super useful, but I just wanted to give it a go. Okay. Let me just check in with the chat for a second. So, Livestream Consultant says, would like to see you compare all the accessories to see if they would fit the Extra Muse. I don't know a great deal about the Extra Muse. I'll have to look that up later. And Ankit writes, I'm having issues with focus as all the videos are blurry now on my Osmo Pocket 1. Only the close-up video, like vlogging self, is good, but for long distance it's bad, I think. Yeah. And I must admit, I don't know how long ago the Pocket 1 was actually released. That's not a camera I've actually ever had the opportunity to play with. But yeah, might be worth doing some research online. And I guess, you know, I didn't really want to talk about the tripod too much, but again, it's got a cold shoe thing. And I'm a little obsessed with cold shoe accessories. That's one of the weird things about me at the moment, so I just need to own the fact. So take the phone off, we'll unscrew the Pocket 3, and Livestream Consultant says it is a DJI Osmo clone. Okay, yes, I think I have seen some of that out in the, I was going to say in the wild, in the YouTube at least. So that's a Sunny Life one. Again, I haven't really had a great chance to try that out yet, but it is intriguing. All right. And again, I'm going to grab this silicone holder because I want to make sure this doesn't fall over while I'm talking. All right, let's check out some of these other boxes. Take that one. Doesn't have anything in it. Okay, so this one, and the brand seems to be Liboer. I'm not entirely sure how I'm pronouncing that, but essentially it's a cover. And there are a couple of covers. I think the one I liked most of all isn't this one. It's another one, which I don't think I have with me, unfortunately, but maybe I'll make some content about that another time. So this, and it comes with a little strap that I've thrown on the floor. But essentially this, and I believe this actually goes on top of the one that comes in the combo. So the idea here is that we actually connect this in here, slide it in. And it's surprisingly difficult to slide that in. Let me just try that again. So I can slide that in. It does have a little band, so to keep it closed within the case. The other interesting thing about this one is that it does have a little pop-up section for those lenses. So if you do have lenses, you can add them there. Again, I don't think this is necessarily my favorite version of this. There are certainly some other ones that I would like to explore instead. So, and the other thing I will say is, of all the ones that I've seen that do clip in this fashion, they're remarkably difficult to get out again. So I won't attempt to do that now. We'll have a play with that later on. All right. So the and Livestream Consultants tells me that the original DJI Osmo Pocket was released in December 2018. That's a really long time ago. Hi Sharito, thanks for joining us. Great to have your company today. So I'm just exploring some of the many random things that I've sort of acquired for the DJI Osmo Pocket 3, and again, it's kind of ridiculous. There's kind of too many things here. But I just wanted to play, and I just want to explore the possibilities. So again, you certainly don't need to run out and buy any of this stuff. This is another one that I haven't actually opened yet, and this is just a holder, but it's sort of a hot shoe adapter. Well, they say hot shoe, it's probably cold shoe, but essentially we can put this on top of another camera, or potentially even in even on like a camera cage, for example. So again, I'm just going to pull this out in real time. It does come with some instructions, which is always good. And I guess the thing to note about a lot of this stuff is it's all very similar design. So don't feel you need to run out and buy all of these things. So I have a section that says open, and I pull that up. That will release it. All right, and I'm just accidentally recording something on here, which I didn't really mean to do. I'm just going to turn this off. It's funny, even though I'm talking about this camera, I probably don't need to use this camera today. So again, I think what we need to do is just make sure that we slide this in. We clip that on. And up here, we actually have sort of a cold shoe attachment. So if I wanted to actually put this on top of maybe a DSLR camera, I could do that as well. I can adjust that and I can sort of screw it to tighten it. And that way you can sort of get some different angles there, which is really nifty. Ender writes, have you ever got into the DJI drones? They're really very cool. I haven't. I mean, it's an interesting area, and I know a lot of people really do love it. I guess for me, they're not cheap, and I would be very scared about losing and or breaking them. And I'm also a little bit nervous just about sort of, you know, where can I legally fly some of those things? But they are very interesting nonetheless. All right. So this is a very, very tight fit, this one, which I suppose is good. You don't really want it moving around too much, but can I... Oh, there we go. Sort of has a little latching mechanism, which is good. All right, let me just put that back in the silicone holder. And Livestream Consultant says, I preferred the Artul Envo 2 Pro myself. Okay, well, yeah, I guess the short answer to that earlier question is basically no, I don't have any drone experience. But it is, like, I have no doubt it's really interesting. But again, I just want to do stuff on the ground. Okay, so I wasn't sure if I was going to do this now or later, but I think we'll do it right now. I'm going to show you a little video, and I want to talk to you about what is actually in use in this clip. But this is just a minute of me in bushland here in Australia. I'll come back and talk about this in just a second. Okay, so that was a minute or so of me in bushland, and I guess the thing about the DJI Osmo Pocket 3 is it does have a gimbal in it, but one complaint that people do sometimes give is that it's actually kind of difficult to not make it super obvious that you're walking and moving with this camera. But we do have an accessory that can help in this regard, and it's in this little shiny bag here. Let me take it out and show you what this is. So this is, and this is from, I think it's Star TRC, but it could be Start RC. But essentially, this is something that will act as a stabilizer, and it has a little screw in the bottom. So if I unscrew this, and there's a release button on the side here. So if I release that, you'll see that we've got this here. What I kind of need to do, and again, make sure that you have one of the stands for this, so you can actually attach the 1/4-inch screw at the bottom. And it's super awkward to do this on camera, but it is what it is. Let's make sure we screw that in. And on the back here, we actually have this thing that I can move up and down to adjust the tension. But essentially, if I move this now and I sort of go up and down, you'll see that it responds. And I know here it looks kind of trippy, but as you saw in that video, it does a pretty good job of actually smoothing out that motion. And I should say too that the other thing too is you can actually keep it in this thing. It does come with a bit of material to sort of hold it in place, so it doesn't move around too much. But once you've got that on there, it is quite trippy when you first use it. It's something you'll need to get used to. And I must admit, I have put this on back to front, but I guess in some ways, this normally what I would do is I would have this section facing me, but that's okay. It does also have a 1/4" screw here and one on the bottom of the unit, so you can potentially incorporate all kinds of things with this. But it is, I think this one was, and I've seen this from anywhere from about $15 to $25, $35 Australian. You'll probably find it cheaper if you look around. But it is just a glorified spring, and yet it makes such a difference. It's really cool. It's probably my favorite thing that I've purchased in relation to the DJI Osmo Pocket. So much going on in the chat. Let me just catch up. But first of all, Livestream Consultants points out that this is an X-axis stabilizer. Yes, that's exactly what it is. So the Z-axis stabilizer. I think I said X. Anyway, between the Osmo Pocket 3 and this thing, you should have sort of 3 different sections of stabilization there. All right, so this is that is true. Life Consultants also writes they have larger versions of it that you can wear to mount a much larger camera for filmmaking. Yeah, absolutely. And I guess it's funny because before I bought this, I was genuinely thinking about getting another Sony ZV-E10. And I'm kind of glad I didn't, because I just love how portable this thing is. And it's just so much fun to actually go out in the wild with this thing. It's very small, very unassuming. And it's really cool in that regard. Okay. And hello to Reluctant Creators. You said, I saw that on your LinkedIn page. They're very interesting. Not seen that one before. Got a whole raft of accessories, but didn't see that one. Yeah, so again, it's just so much fun. I don't know if this is serious video making gear, but it is genuinely so much fun. And it does, like, it's not perfect. And I should say too, in that minute of video footage, if you were here for that, there were times when there were just gaps in the landscape, and I was dipping down like 30 centimeters. Like I was stepping down from a large rock to much lower ground. And it's not perfect. You can still see some motion, but it is so much smoother than it would have been otherwise. And I guess the other thing that people recommend is sort of a crab walk. And the crab walk probably helps. It probably works. It probably is useful, but it just looks ridiculous. And if you're already feeling self-conscious out in the wild filming, you don't want to be doing a crab walk. Livestream Consultant says they're very compact and do the job they were designed to do. Yeah. All right. And thank you to Sanjay, who says big love from India. There's a lot of drone talk. I don't know. Maybe I need to get somebody on the show one week that actually does know about drones. But again, that's not really my thing. So I don't know a great deal about that. I should say too, and again, just because I've got so much stuff and it's been a busy week and I'm probably not as organized as I should be, I do have a thing that actually straps to a backpack strap, so I could actually physically wear it. I have seen baseball caps where you can literally have an action camera attached to them. I don't know that that's anything I would personally want to use, but it does exist and it might be worth playing with. I have seen a lot of action camera things that you can strap to your pet dog. And again, I think a lot of the traditional action cameras probably can take a lot more damage than the DJI Osmo Pocket 3. Like, I don't want to be dropping this. I really don't. Although you can get insurance from DJI, as I think Livestream Consultants pointed out earlier. And Livestream Consultants says that area looks a lot like the Gila Forest, just north of him. Okay, cool. And And they have mountings for bikes as well. Yeah, and it's there's so many things out there. And by all means, try them. Like whatever you think is gonna be fun to play with. All right, so I'm gonna unscrew this. And I guess while you're not actually using this, what we do is we put the screw back into this bottom section just so it's all together. Bit of ASMR for you, and again it goes back in this contraption as well, and it does come with a strap, which I think is in my camera bag, but anyway, that's fine. All right, so we've played with so many different things, and again I'm sort of losing track of all the various things I've played with here a little bit because there is so much of it. This is also from the same company as the stabilizer, which is Start RC. I'm just going to call them that. I'm not really sure if that's how they pronounce their name. Again, it's just another pocket protective case. I kind of like that one better than this one, but I don't actually have that on my desk, so I can't really show you in action. We've looked at that one already. Okay. This one I haven't opened either. And don't forget to like and subscribe. And I think this animation is actually working this week, which is exciting. Reluctant Creators writes, and if you use the DJI Mimo app in conjunction with a large lightweight extension, you can simulate a drone style shot, especially using the Z-axis stabilizer. Absolutely. And I guess before I pull this thing out, there are some other things I wanted to show you that I can't really. It's just not convenient to show you in real time. So I've got a video that I've created earlier. There's a couple of things here in this video. It's a bag and also a selfie stick / tripod. And I guess the point that, and I probably make it in the video. I probably don't need to tell you again here. I own a lot of tripods, and a part of me wishes I could just own one tripod. But the reality is you'll need different tripods for different applications. Some of them are quite large, some of them are quite small. But especially if I'm walking somewhere, I have a really nice Manfrotto tripod, but it just weighs a ton. I don't want to be carrying it anywhere. So let's watch this video, and I'll come back and talk about a few other things for the DJI Osmo Pocket 3 in just a moment. Okay, so something that I've been interested in getting more involved in is essentially mobile filmmaking. So the thing about mobile filmmaking is you kind of want your setup to be portable. You want to take the gear that's going to work for you, but you don't want to take everything because lugging that stuff around is going to be a huge pain. At the moment, I've got my K&F concept bag. In the top of this compartment, I can actually fit in the entire DJI Osmo Pocket 3 Creator Mode kit in this little bag. Everything fits in there, which actually leaves the rest of the bag empty for whatever else I want to include there, and at the moment it is literally empty. But I was looking for a tripod or a monopod or a selfie stick or something that I could bring with me, and I had a lot of really small ones and a lot of really big heavy duty ones, which are just hard to carry. So I ultimately ended up with this thing. This is the Ulanzi MT44. There's the box there. This thing is really, really cool, and it is quite lightweight, but it is also pretty sturdy. So first of all, if you look at the top of this, there's a little cap, but essentially if I screw this off or take this off, I can attach whatever I want to a 1/4 inch thread, and I can go like that. But it does also have, this will be the point at which I realize if I can do this or not, it's actually got a built-in phone holder. So if you do just want to work with your phone, that's really, really cool. I've mostly been using the 1/4 inch thread just with the DJI Osmo Pocket 3. And we do have the ability, got to sort of unscrew this thing here. It's got a lock position and unlock position. And if I do that, a couple of things that we can do from this point. I probably need to unscrew this one as well. But I can make this into a selfie stick, and it's really quite large. like it won't fit in the frame, it's that large, which is kind of hilarious. So I can go up if I want to do that. And again, I really love the thickness of this handle. But also, while this is unscrewed, I can actually release. It's always fun to do these things on a live demonstration because it won't be terribly obvious, but I can actually bring that out and then I can have a proper stand. Again, you're just going to make sure that you tighten this thread back into the lock position. And I've got something that is actually quite sturdy, can be really tall if I need it to be, and can have that base as well. So that's what I'm rocking at the moment. I really like this. Somebody on YouTube recommended it. I wish I remembered who that was because it was really cool. But even just in selfie mode, the thickness of the base is really nice. It's really lovely to hold. So that's what I'm working with at the moment. Do you do any kind of mobile videography? Let me know in the comments what you're using and what you're enjoying. And the great thing about this is you can use it with your phone, and then if you upgrade to other things, you can use that as well. I mean, obviously there's probably a limit to how heavy the camera can be, but again, for my Osmo Pocket 3, it's perfectly fine. Okay, so the K and F concept bag and also the Lanzi selfie stick, which are really cool things. Again, there are trade-offs with everything, and I guess in that case, there is definitely a trade-off between the portability and lightness and how sturdy it is. But all right, and you've potentially brought us to the most depressing part of today's show. Is there a waterproof cover for the DJI Osmo Pocket 3 camera? There is, out in the wild, but the thing you need to know about this camera, it is not waterproof in any meaningful sense. I wouldn't take it out in the rain. I definitely wouldn't go scuba diving with it. I don't think this is the camera for that, and there are lots of action cameras that you can buy accessories for. There is literally something on AliExpress I've seen that is kind of a cover, like a supposedly waterproof cover, but again, I would be so scared to even try that. So yes, the one thing that it's kind of funny because the DJI actually had frequently asked questions on one of their websites at one point, and it was like, is it waterproof? And it just said no. And that was the end of the discussion. So yeah, just be really, really careful. Livestream Consultants writes, I have one of those in each of my streaming bags, works for cameras or mics. If you needed to mount a light to it, you have to weight it now so it will not topple over. Interestingly, and I don't have this, like it's a couple of meters away from my desk, I can't run and grab it very quickly, but I did the one thing that in a subsequent video I sort of took some footage in the park with my stabilizer and the selfie stick, the Lanzi one. And I did find that the little, the thing that converts to the phone adapter was kind of moving when I was really pushing it up high. So I actually did go on Amazon, and they have another thing which is technically a light stand, but it's basically very, very similar. Let me just see if I can show you what that is really quickly. All right. So, in fact, what I'll do is I'll open this in a new tab. So this is what I'm about to show you is the Lanzi MT79 extendable camera tripod, but it's sort of marketed as a bit of a light stand, but you can also use it as this selfie stick. And I do think the base is a little bit thicker on this one, but because it doesn't have that little phone holder thingy there, and again, I haven't really had a chance to. I'm talking about something that I'm not actually sharing my screen for, so let me press that button. This is what I'm trying to talk you through. So this is the Lanzi MT79 extendable camera tripod, but again, and it's kind of described as a light stand, and again, it's just another option. I think not massively expensive, but I haven't really had a chance to try this one out. But that's just what I was referring to. But I mean, there's lots of great options out there, and I think you've just got to find what works for you. Let me just go back to the chat. And Reluctant Creator says, have the MT71, you expanded and opened your tripod legs with grace. Not always that easy. And somebody on LinkedIn did complain that they broke the legs on their tripod, and you know, you do need to be a little bit careful with that, I suppose. But again, there's no perfect solution there. There are trade-offs with everything. All right, I have to keep going because there are a few things that I want to show you, and I'm going to change the order up a little bit. So this is from BRDRC, and it's a little filter case for the Pocket 3. Again, it's very... Just gotta make sure I can actually open the damn thing. So it's got sections for memory cards and for the filters, and the filters are sort of magnetic, so they connect in there. I should say too, and again, that was very inexpensive. There are a lot of filters that... the widescreen filter comes with the combo kit, the creator combo, but you can buy all kinds of other filters, and I do have this one from Newer. It comes in shiny box, which is reflecting off my lights, and I really haven't had a chance to play with this too much, but this one comes with 4 different filters. One is a blue streak one, because they are literally so tiny, like even they've got little labels on the side of them, but they're really difficult to read. So one is a quarter diffusion, one is a star effect, which I'm hoping will be really fun at sort of Christmas time with Christmas trees and lights. One is just as LPR. I don't really know what that is. And the other one is the blue streak, which again literally has sort of blue lines appear across your scene. I know there are just ND filters that sort of... in fact, there is some documentation in here, so this will probably tell me what this does. Maybe. Alright, so this is the filter series, user manual. Okay, no, this looks like it's quite generic. It's not going to help me at all. Okay, no worries. So again, like you literally... And maybe I should just talk you through that as well while we're here. Turn this on. And I'll grab the widescreen one out of here. I've never done a live with this many props. It's honestly quite crazy. I don't know. Maybe this would have been better to do while it was still off. But I'm just going to try and attach that. And again, it's all magnetized. So you put that on, and you've got sort of a wider angle view. And again, you can adjust all the settings on this. So I think for the wide angle one especially, it's quite thick, so I think it would be a good idea to sort of take that off before I turn off the unit. So I'm just going to turn it back on and turn it off again, just so you can see it rotate and go back into its original position. I haven't really, I haven't played with filters at all much at the, yet, and I must admit, once I have the selfie stick, I don't really need the wide... I haven't really had much use of the wide angle filter, but it's there as an option, so we have that to revisit. Okay, this thing is very similar to something else I've already shown you, but seeing as it's on my table, we might as well. And I don't think this one even has a brand that I can see. Again, it's just a camera shoe option, and again, some of these things are very, very similar, and I probably didn't need them all. But it's a very similar thing, except that this is sort of the action camera attachments for that. And again, it does also have the cold shoe, which is great if you have those accessories, if you've got lights, if you've got microphones that you want to attach there. One thing I didn't show you earlier, and this is really interesting. Again, I don't know if I really have a great use for this in the wild, but this is from Sunny Life as well. And it's a holder for the DJI Osmo Pocket 3 and a camera, and a phone, sorry. And I guess we saw the other variation on this theme, which is also by Sunny Life, I think. And it had the camera in front of the DJI Osmo Pocket 3. In this case, they're sort of side by side. And again, we have this backing thing that opens up in the back. And with many of these accessories, the trick to a lot of this is just lining up the buttons with the holes. And then there's a sort of a little locking mechanism at the back. And we've got that there. And I can throw my phone in here as well. And potentially I can be recording on both devices. This does have a 1/4 inch thread at the top. It actually has a cold shoe at the bottom. And again, I guess, I don't know, I don't think I could, oh no, I can rotate that. Okay, cool. So I could potentially have this vertically or horizontal. And we've got those shoes there. Obviously, to actually put this in here, I've got a 1/4 inch thread on here as well. So potentially there are a few different points at which we could, you know, attach this to a tripod or a selfie stick as we wanted to. But the one thing that I kind of wish this could do is that I could maybe angle this a little bit more. And I should say too, there is another version of this that actually has the DJI Osmo Pocket 3 and a camera section on either side. And it seems like a phone holder on either side. And it seems in that model, you can actually angle this a little bit more. So potentially, if you're getting backup footage, I guess the only thing for me is these are probably going to be relatively similar angles because they're really only, you know, 5 centimeters apart from each other. So might be useful. But I mean, the other thing too is maybe you're just getting some backup audio on here and maybe the video isn't that important. There's all kinds of things you could do with that. And again, even just the ability to have the cold shoe and maybe have a different mic or a different light. That can be really, really cool and useful as well. And again, we can just take that out as well. So I should say, I know Relaxing Creators has been doing a lot with his DJI Osmo Pocket 3. And if you've got any tips or tricks or accessories, I'd love to hear about those. And in fact, you probably have some stuff on your channel that I haven't had a chance to see yet. So I might go check that out later. I guess in the spirit of lights, and I'll do this quickly, we'll talk about microphone accessories in a second. I've got a couple of these, and one of them's open and one of them isn't, and I don't know which is which, but I guess I'll find out in a second. Must be this one. Okay. So this is actually from Newer. It's literally just a light, but it also comes with attachments to put it on here. So first of all, we get our little LED light. If I hold down one side of, there are 2 buttons on the top. If I hold down one of them, it'll turn it on. If I hold down the other one, I think it's just dimming or brightening. So we've got that there. It's probably doing terrible things to my live stream. It's trying to turn it off now. Doesn't want to play. Long press? Alright, let me try that again. I can't turn it off. That's always exciting. I don't know what's going on. Oh, there we go. I have no idea what was happening there. Okay, so basically, the other part of this is that it comes with accessories. It comes with a USB cable to recharge this. The other thing about this is dropping stuff now. It's always exciting. The other thing about this is this is literally magnetic. So if you just want a light attached to a metal stand, that can be really, really nifty as well. But we do have some accessories to actually apply this to different things, and I haven't really used this in a while, so I'm probably going to do this wrong. But let's just try it out. So essentially, this thing goes around here. And I'll probably do this in the wrong direction, but let's not even dwell on it too much right now. In fact, I think it meets at the back. So it's actually on the back of this unit, and here, because this is magnetic, I can literally stick that on. And then I might just turn this on. The one thing I am a little bit concerned about with this thing in particular is... okay. So the one thing that does genuinely make me nervous about this, and I probably haven't put this on properly, but it does seem to occasionally interfere with the gimbal. And that I genuinely have concerns about. So... I don't know. I love the light. The light is really useful in and of itself, but I don't think I'd love to attach it there. This is probably a time when I would use one of those cold shoe things to actually do it elsewhere. But I guess the other thing too, you have two mounting options, I think, for this one, although I could be wrong. There is a collar as well. All right. I don't know that I've got the collar on me, but... or in this box, it might have fallen out into the bag actually, but it is actually possible to mount this in a couple of different ways. And again, I love the idea of this, and this is from Newer Basics, but it makes me so nervous when it starts interfering with the gimbal. So let me just check. So there is, it is possible. I guess the other thing is there's another attachment which doesn't seem to be in this box right now, but it actually attaches to the side as well. And I think, like, this is kind of magnetic, but yeah, again, that was very, very cheap, but I don't think I'd use it very much. In part because when I'm filming outside anyway, it's usually in daylight, but... Okay, so Relaxing Creators writes, the last gadget you held up, which holds your phone, works good as a teleprompter or for notes. Yeah, that's a good idea. And Live Streams Consultants is double click it. That might have been the answer. I don't really know. I'm curious if I can open this other one to show you, but to be honest, we're running out of time, so let's move on. But there are probably better ways of using that. So I'm not coming for newer. It is what it is. But I just makes me nervous when it's over there. Let's go back to the DJI Mic 2, and again, DJI have a whole bunch of different mics, but this one comes with the combo pack. Again, it does have built-in recording. It does have a clip that you can attach to your clothes. It does have a magnet that you can attach to your clothes as well. This is the bit that genuinely confused me though, because I don't know how Amazon works, because I bought some lavalier microphones from Amazon, and it was cheaper to get 4 of them than it was to get 2. And I don't mean per unit, I mean in total. And I guess they were having a sale or something. It was all very confusing. And I do have the newer mics here. I'm sure they were on the table. Probably under here. Hang on. No? So, I mean, I feel like the moral of this story is you really need to be much more organized when you have a whole bunch of things. There we go. It's right in front of me. Okay. So this is newer, and this is CM5, and there were 4 of these, and I think it was like $14. And I kind of suspect that these won't be as good as the other mic I'll show you today, but essentially I got 4 of these in 2 little pouches. They have a surprisingly large capsule. But if you do want to just attach this, you can plug it into the hole on this device. It will record in that way as well, which is really, really nifty. I did also buy the Rode, and I think it's the Go lavalier. I got this on eBay. It was pretty inexpensive. It's got a much smaller capsule. Again, the cable's tied up a little bit. And it does actually have this little, I'm not even sure what that's called, but sort of a little connection. And I believe I need to actually remove that to plug this in properly. And I think it did come with some accessories, including a little muff as well. So, which is probably this one that's fallen out in front of me. So that's really great if you want to do that. I guess, like, it's very controversial, I know, but there are a lot of people that struggle to know what to do with something like this, that they will literally hold it in front of their mouth and talk into it. And it's not a great look, but also it leads to a lot of plosives. The other thing that is really, really nifty, and I can't overstate how many random pieces of stuff are on my desk right now. I really should have organized this a little bit better, but it is what it is. I'm sure it's right in front of me. I'm sure what I'm looking for is literally right in front of me, but it's a black object on a desk with a whole bunch of other black objects. But anyway, you can actually go back into and see in my other videos, but essentially it's just a plastic mic holder. It's got a stand. I wish I was more organized. I'm not. But essentially, you can clip this thing in here. You can hold it in front of you. You can talk into it. And one of the great things, I'm sure I will find this the second the live stream ends, and I will be so annoyed with myself, but I can't see it right now. And the other great thing is that these mic holders, they'll often come with something like this, which again is just a foam cover, which is great for those plosives. And the thing that really, and I can't stop talking about this, so I'm sorry if I bored you with this already, but the great thing is there's a company, Blue Mantis, on AliExpress that actually flocked my logo onto one of these. And that's actually material on material. And it is so clear and it's so beautiful. So if you do have the handle, and I'm sure it's underneath all of the boxes that are on my desk right now, which is kind of ridiculous. I literally, I brought it out specifically for that purpose. But yeah, that is so cool. That was like $16 Australian, including postage from China. And that is so cool. That makes me really happy. I feel like I've been a bit of a kid in a candy store today, so hopefully this was interesting. One last thing that I always forget, because I've actually just attached it randomly to a part of my desk, but is this little thing. And again, it's just another holder. It's just another holder for this. And again, I probably don't need the base, but seeing as it's already on there, I'll leave it there. You've got to undo this. In fact, let me put that down for a second. So you've got to undo the clip, then you open this up, and then we put it in here. And we just want to make sure those... sorry about that. I literally hid an accessory on my desk and it triggered something on my Stream Deck. Alright, so what you want to do is just align this up so that the buttons are in the right place. And we close this. And again, you might need to just maneuver this a little bit to get it to fit properly. And then you clip it in. Again, I'm just getting weird and self-conscious at the end of my live stream, but essentially we clip that in. And the great thing about this is this section on the back is a magnet. So you can attach this to any metallic object. You can attach this to a fridge or a freezer, and you can just film wherever you like. You don't necessarily need a tripod. You can have something a little bit more portable. So it has been a bit of a hot mess in terms of my organization today, but I just wanted to show you some of the toys I've been playing with. I hope this has been interesting and useful. Again, if you do anything with the DJI Osmo Pocket 3, I'd love to hear about the accessories you're rocking and the techniques that you're playing with. It would be really great to hear that, so let me know in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And hopefully I'll be back next week. Have a great week. Have a great weekend when you get there. And I'll talk to you again very, very soon.